So, make dreams a reality. How did that come about?
It was quite interesting because it was just, it came about literally. I got my OBE and I decided to set up Make Dreams Reality, but it was just before them. I used to work for the charity Crime Stoppers, and shout out to them. They put me on. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Crime Stoppers and all the rest of it. Don't worry. Some of my friends was calling me a snitch. How can I be a snitch if you're still on the roads? And part of me felt like I should have snitched on some of them. About you calling me a snitch. But I used to work for Crime Stoppers, and I helped them change their whole youth brand. So even the brand now, there's a lot of people right now that don't even know that their youth brand that's called Fearless, and getting young people to be able to text and all the kind of stuff that came from the back of me. And then I remember one day I asked them for a pay rise and a position change. And they said no. They said, listen, big man, don't get too big for your boots. Get me? I was an assistant, and they said, you stay assistant. I was like, but my project manager ain't doing the job. You know the ones there? Like, she'll be sitting at the back of the school assemblies. And then when we used to get back to Crime Stoppers, they'll be like, oh, well done to the youth department. We've reached like 2,000 kids in 3 months. No, I reached 2,000, 3,000 kids. She didn't do nothing. She was just standing at the back. So I asked for a pay rise. They said no. And I think it left me salty. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit like, I was taken back by it. So I remember saying to my manager, I'm going to do my own thing. Do you know what I mean? And they kind of laughed at me like, all right, what big time Crime Stoppers? There's no way you're going to be bigger than us. And I literally, when I left, I said, I'm going to be bigger than you guys. So I left them, decided to start up my own company, MDR. And as I was kind of in that process of how do I do it, don't know what to do, all the rest of it, received my OBE, got confirmation from my friend, and then my friend was just like, literally just go onto company's house. It goes, it's £16. You buy the domain name and you set up your company. So for anybody out there that sometimes sits there and you're thinking about business and you look at all these business people and you're saying, I can never do that. It's £16 and some heart. That's all it was. £16 and some heart. You know, you find your name, and I set up the company, and bless me, I remember setting it up, and this is my naivety of it. I set it up. I remember the next day dressing up. I put on a suit like an idiot. I put on a suit and I sat in my front room, and my phone was there. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, phone ring. No one rang. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. No email, no nothing. And you know, like,
oh, that's brilliant.
That was so naive of me. I thought, now that I got the business, what? That's it. I'm a business.
Yeah. A businessman.
I'm a businessman.
Put on a suit.
Put the
mobile phone on.
I'm ready.
Get my pen and paper. Good to go.
And then I started meeting people, because you get a business, you start meeting people, and then they said to me, you know, what's your business plan? Have you got a business plan? I was like, I don't know what business plan. They said, what's your forecast? I said, big man, why are you telling me about the weather? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not raining outside. He said, no, that's not raining. I'm talking about the forecast and your ratio and how much you think you're going to make. I said, this is a lot of stuff. So I went back. I'd done a business plan. And I remember, like, it was the most horriblest time of my life. I remember doing this business plan, went to some guy, and I said, look, this is my business plan. This is what I'm trying to do. And he goes, Chris, no disrespect to what you've just done, because I think it's great that you've got a business plan. But he goes, you're trying to go into schools and you're trying to deliver programs. So he goes, you don't really need a business plan.
Yeah.
You need programs. Big man, what's that? Okay. So as I was going through all this transition, I'm not going to lie, I'm going on Good Morning Britain. Yeah. I'm going on BBC One, LBC. I'm on every single newspaper. I'm turning up. People are stopping me on the street like, oh, you're that guy, Chris Preddie, OBE. Yeah. 2 weeks later, I was at the job centre signing on. Get me? Bear man's like, big man, what are you doing here? Ain't you Chris Preddie, OBE? I said, shut up, fam. Man's got to get this piece like you, brother. Get me? Even the woman I was saying to the woman, I've got OBE. And I remember getting my first job, and I was on job centre. I remember getting my first job. I was saying to them, this is what I'm trying to do. And lucky enough, I set up my program, scrapped the business plan, set up my program. And there was a youth institute in Camden, bigged them up. And basically they asked me to come and do an inspirational talk. That was my first talk. I went and done an inspirational talk. The woman paid me £150.
Oh, lovely.
I said, say nothing.
Yes.
I went back to job centre and I gave them the little pay slip. I said, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
This is what I made. And I remember the woman, she was so shocked. The woman was like, okay, then, Mr. Preddie, how long did it take you to make that 150? Do you know what I mean? And I said, 1 hour. She's like, no, I don't think you're understanding. How much? I just said to you, £150. And she literally, her exact words was, what are you doing here then? I said, this is what I'm trying to say. I shouldn't be here. Yeah. And then lucky enough, the woman booked me again. And then literally just through word of mouth,
Yeah.
my company just started to pick up. So I done one talk. And I always say to people out there as well that are feeling a little bit like, oh, how do you start, Chris? Where do you start? And I always say to people, I had an ethos, even though it was a wrong ethos, but I always say to kids, I had an ethos of, because I came from a harsh, struggling background, came from the roads a little bit. I used that mentality of, okay, what do I need to do to get these schools to know who I am? So I felt like, okay, if I go into a school, and when I was on the streets and all the rest of it, this was my ethos in the sense of to get people to kind of buy drugs off of you and get them to call your line and all the kind of rest of it. You have to give out samples. You have to give out tasters. Yeah.
Yes.
So I went to the schools and I said to myself, well, who's the product? I said, well, I'm the crack, I'm the cocaine, I'm the weed, I'm the product. What do you need to do to get these people to buy your product? Give them some freebies. So I just went to every single school and I said, listen, I'll do it for free. 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 Free inspirational talk. Free inspirational talk. So all these schools started to book me free inspirational talks. And then after that, because I've done so well, schools was like getting back in. And
we'll pay you.
Yeah, we'll pay you
next time.
100%. So, so then they referred me. I started getting all these referrals. And God give thanks, 15 years later, I'm still running my same company. Well, not a charity. I've got a charity also as well, but Make Dreams Reality is a limited company. And the reasons why I set up a limited company, because like I said, we've got children and all the rest of it. And I didn't want to work for a charity and then my son get older and then say to him, there's no money in the bank because it's a charity. Yeah, that done a great job. He done 25 years of service. But what about him? He gets nothing. He gets nothing from that benefit. So I set up that limited company for that reason, because the stocks and shares are in his name. So anything that happens to MDR, he can walk into that bank. It could be £200 in there, or it could be 1.2 million in there. Whatever's in that account, he's allowed to be like, that's my dad's money, I'm taking it. But if I was working for a charity, he wouldn't have been able to get that direct access. So that's the reason why I decided to set up my company, MDR. We've been running it for the last nearly 17, 18 years.
Wow. Amazing.
We've got, you know what I mean?
Amazing.
And then even that, 10 years later, I look at Crime Stoppers. I've got more views, more followers. I remember a time of 5 years into my company doing it. And I remember Crime Stoppers done a 360 and actually called my company to ask me to come and deliver some workshops, because that's how bad it got for them. They were just like, all right, Chris, like you was doing so.
What was the feeling of that when you got that call? And it was for your own company. It
was such a surreal feeling, because it was like, I knew I could do it, but just being able, that same employer that didn't want to give me that extra money. And could you imagine? I wasn't even asking for much. The little extra pay wise, what I was asking, I think it ended up working out a couple of £100. And I was just like, you didn't want to give me that. But then when they booked me through my company, they didn't like it, because it was like, oh, Chris, we want you to come in and do like a day's work and all the rest of it. And at that time, my charging rate was £250 to £300 a day. So they're like, what?
We should have took it when we had it. We could have done better negotiating.
We used to pay like £50 a day, Chris. What did you say? £250, £300? And the worst thing about it, they paid it, but I saw their face like, raw, like, you have really surpassed us. And,
love that.
And even then, it's just been one of those great moments. So like I say, it's not about how you start the race, it's about how you want to finish the race. And I've been doing it for the last 18 years. I'm so proud to be able to do it. I've engaged and changed thousands of kids' lives over the years that I've been doing it. And that is just my real sort of kind of give back, because like I said, once upon a time, I was that kid. Once upon a time, I was influencing younger kids in the wrong way. And I still say it, and I've never said this before, but there's a young person that used to be my younger that he's sitting in prison right now, serving 17 years. Now, I had nothing to do with it on what he did, because he ended up stabbing a young boy and the young boy passed away. But I did have something to do with it, because it was his mentality that he learned from me on the reasons why he did it in the first place. And a lot of us wouldn't want to take accountability. And that was my real accountability, that I was like, working with young people, I really wish that I would have told him that it wasn't worth it. I really wish I would have told him that, don't be stupid. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't stab no one. But in his head, when that situation happened, this young boy tried to take his bike. He decided to say, you're not taking my bike. They end up trying to stab him. They stabbed him once. His friend told him, I've got a knife. He took the knife off his friend and chased these 10 guys. They ended up running. And the last one, he ended up stabbing them 5 times. But the reason why he done that, because he knew if he came back to the area, my kind of character at that time would have been like, how you make someone take your bike,
Yeah.
how you make someone mug you off,
Yeah.
how you make someone disrespect you. So it was that fear that didn't enable him to be like, hold on a minute, I've been stabbed myself. The first thing you should have been thinking about, you need to go to hospital.
Absolutely.
You need to be thinking about, you're only 15 years of age. He got sentenced on his 16th birthday. And I keep saying to kids, and it breaks my heart because I've got kids. I've gone on holidays. I got a nice car. I've traveled. This young person, he hasn't traveled. He hasn't gone on holiday. He hasn't even gone to a clubbing. He hasn't actually been out and done small little things, which sometimes we don't realize the parts that we play in young people's lives. And from that day, I said, I want to go back and tell the young people that what I was taught, it's all fabricated. It's not fake. I mean, it's fake. It's not real. It's not real. And that's why it always burns me now, even up to this day. Like, I've been trying to get his sort of kind of like number or his visiting order to be able to go and see him, because I just want to tell him sorry. But the irony to the situation is, I bet he doesn't even think what I'm thinking right now, because he's not going to be sitting there thinking, no, it was your fault, Chris. But in my eyes, I'm like, you was too young to understand. I was old enough to understand. I knew what you was doing. I knew you shouldn't be acting that way. And I didn't want to tell you that deep down in my heart that I wouldn't stab someone. But at that time, he thought that I would have done that, because the way I was going on, my bravado. And we don't realize that our ego and our pride doesn't allow us to be like, you know what? This is the reasons why I do so much on. Sometimes I've got a thing called Chris's Scenarios, or do story times. And
can I just say though, because as we know, sitting down inside, you get a lot of access to the outside now. So if there's, without mentioning names, if you know you're that person, or you might know who, that person,
you know who you are, and if you can reach out.
Try and reach out, try and get that visiting order, because you know what, that might make all the difference in his life, and it's definitely going to make a difference in yours.
100%, 100%, and it still hits me up to all these years. He went in when he's 16. That was the last time I saw him, you know, and I was early 20s.
Yeah.
So you're talking, I'm 38 now, so there's like a good 15 years that I haven't seen this person. And if you're out there,
some healing can be done.
Yeah.
On both sides.
100%.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
No worries.
Make dreams a reality. Well, if you need this guy, you know where to find him.
You know where to find me. Don't worry, I'll wait. A lot of you are not going to be seeing me right now. Like, Chris, I follow you. Yeah, you follow me.
Do you know what?
You're not booking me.
Favourite saying of mine. Don't worry, I'll wait. I mean, I see people posting it on your, on your socials and that. But how did you actually? Like, what was your first appearance on social media? How did it come about? It's
crazy because it's the same thing once again with young people. And I don't know why I decided to do it. I remember it really. I remember it so well because it was a documentary that came out from Channel 5. It was called Gangland.
Okay.
And they came out of a documentary, and it was just exploiting young people. Young people was out there talking about selling drugs and all that. And it was just, I was just like, why are we still allowing us to be able to see this, and no one's not sitting there saying that? Like, if you're there, BBC, and you're saying to this young man, why are you selling drugs, or why have you got a knife? And he's got a knife, waving it, showing you. How can you put that on TV, but then still allow this young person to walk away knowing that he's got this kind of weapon on him and knowing the damage that he can actually cause?
Yeah.
So I literally remember come out of a school, and I was just sitting in my car, literally, I can remember like it's yesterday, and I was just sitting in my car, and I just done a rant. I just pressed record, and I just said, yeah, ganglands, I've had enough. You know, taking liberties, and and I just stopped the recording, and I posted it, and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I said, wait a minute, my phone was going off. People were sharing it on WhatsApp. People got, Chris, you've gone viral. People end up doing a protest, and they said they're going out to Channel 5. And that was when Channel 5 used to be in Camden. So everyone made their way to Channel 5. So I was like, certain people was like, yeah, I'm going off the back of this young man, and I hope he's going to be there. I'm like, I didn't even think I'm going out to this protest. So I felt like I had to go. So I went to this protest. I started this now. So I'm seeing millions of people outside Channel 5 chanting and cheering. And then I pulled up, and everyone was like, there he is, Chris. What have you got to say? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't.
The same thing again.
Like, Don't part of the documentary. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that.
Wow, that must have been overwhelming.
It was so overwhelming.
What media site was that? What was out at the time? What was it? Was it Facebook or was it?
It was Facebook.
Was it Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook at the time. So I posted on Facebook at the time. Instagram was just coming up. TikTok wasn't even around yet. So I posted it out on Facebook, and then everyone knows, like even in this day and age now, if your mum sends it to you on WhatsApp, it's gone viral. You know what I'm saying? If it comes off any of them platforms, if you don't see it on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, and you're now watching it on WhatsApp, you've gone viral. You've gone viral. From when my mum's posting it, you've gone viral because she don't know what's going on social media. She's sending it to all her friends. Did you see this? Did you see that? And to a point, my mum was saying to her friend, "That's my son." That's what it's like. Yeah, this young man is talking some sense. And then literally, I just went viral from that day. And then that's where the Chris Preddie really kind of like was born. And then you know, so many people was like, "Chris, you are the voice, or you talk so much sense." And then that's when the Real Talk True season came in, because I was just like, well, let me just say how it went. And then along the process, I've now become an advocate and now become a spokesperson for our community on topics and issues that I believe that affect us in our community. And sometimes we all want to say it, but no one says it in that kind of way. So like you were saying a little bit earlier, like what can we do as a community? I just end up saying it because we don't like to say it. We'll just shut away our doors, or we'll see something going on, or like you don't know that your nephew is carrying drugs, or like you don't know that your son's coming in right now with a balaclava. And you know, oh, he's a rapper. But when you go onto YouTube, he's talking about dip, 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 dip. And as a mother, you can see him saying that. So why are you not homing that in and saying, all right, maybe my son is influenced, or maybe my son is possibly a leader, or maybe my son is possibly a follower, and understand what your child is and who your child is. But a lot of parents want to play in denial and say, not my child, until it becomes their child. So that was really, really important for me. And then now I can't get offline. Now everyone just stops me in the streets like, don't worry, I'll wait. I'm like, I got a name, you know. Like, you're that guy from Instagram, innit? My name's Chris. I say it every single post. How we doing, guys? Myself, Chris Preddie, OBE, hitting you with a quick one. Real Talk, True Season. Don't worry, I'll wait. People come up to me, Real Talk. No, big man, my name's Chris. It's Chris. Just say hello, Chris. But like, literally, people get lost in the sauce. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, that doesn't make no sense.
It's great, though. It's really great. And, you know, I've been out with you as a family and stuff, and it's you know, it's nice to see people stopping you. And,
it is so lovely.
Just,
it is,
you know, bigging you up.
No,
and you deserve it.
And it's really, really lovely. It's really, really proud moments. And I know that even for your sister, it took her a little while to.
I remember the first day, because remember, we didn't really know you like that.
No.
And it's so strange because everyone else seemed to know you.
Everybody. And the worst thing about your sister, she's so funny. She used to actually think that I was planting these people to come up and talk to me. Listen, you know what's there? She's like, yeah, I know you just. I was like, stop.
The first date, I think it was, you guys went out on, and she came back and she was like, yeah, people just stopping us. Like, even the ticket man knew him. Like, there was a ticket man going to put a ticket on his car, and he was like, oh, you're that guy. Like, gave him a little blind and that. And
she literally,
she was like, Selena.
She thought I was chatting a bunch
of rubbish. Yeah. She was like,
listen, nah, not if, I didn't, like she said, I'm like, stop trying to go like you didn't know me. She's like, I didn't know you.
No,
I don't know who you
seriously.
I didn't know you.
I can honestly say she did not know you. No, she didn't know.
She didn't know. I, knowing her now, she did not know me. This girl doesn't know nothing. She doesn't know movies, no nothing. Where was she? Where was she living? She doesn't know nothing. No Matrix. You've never watched Matrix. I've never watched Matrix. Where have you been? What have you been doing? I just want.
She knows nothing, but she knows a hell of a lot.
Everything, nothing and everything at the same time. Literally, how does that work? So
Brilliant.
I remember there was the one time we went to a cafe in South, and I think that's when she started to realize, okay, maybe he didn't plant this person because how did he plant someone to come all the way to South to this cafe to come up to him while we're eating our breakfast and be like, yeah, how you doing, big man? That's when she's like,
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. No, she doesn't even care. She just carries on walking. You know, as there we was out the other day with Legacy and everything, and one guy came to me, listen, Ken, man, I love what you're doing. She's just like, right, so I'm looking at this. She doesn't even care no more. She doesn't even care. She's like, I was like, hello.
Comes norm, doesn't it?
Yeah, it becomes normal. But it's still not normal for me though. Sometimes I sit there and don't get me wrong, I love it, but then sometimes I'm like, I am out with the family. Like,
yeah,
I'm a normal person. Like,
yeah.
I wanna,
Of course.
I just want to chill today.
But you
Like,
know what? I
someone
think
be
it's
like, "Can I
always
have
a
a
good
picture?"
thing. It's always a good thing. Keeps you grounded.
Yeah, no, it does.
Keeps
it does.
you in the reality of life. Do you know what I mean? As well,
no,
like
100%,
so.
100%.
I think that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's true. Good times.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I like. It's funny, isn't it? Because you know the amount of family things we've done, and there's so many bits that you just don't know about people.
No, you don't.
And so it's been wonderful having those conversations. Thank you.